Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Wonder Women Wednesdays on Fearless and Free TV. I'm really excited to bring you my friend Jaci Marie today, who I met a couple of years ago, and her story is really amazing. Before I bring her in, I just wanted to remind everybody, if you haven't already, to subscribe to this channel and share it forward, because that is how we change the world, by sharing content that inspires us and speaks to our hearts. And of course, remember to comment and like, and if you like this particular video, share it forward. Before I bring in Jaci Marie, I want to also let you all know about a group that I'm a part of. It's called the Ascended Masters Store, and I'm one of the teachers over there, and there's a whole bunch of other inspirational teachers as well. Some of them are people I've actually known for years, and we've had a blast reconnecting over there, and some of them are people I've just met recently. And I'll probably be interviewing a lot of them on the show because we all have so much in common, and this store is amazing. So later I will put my link to the Ascended Masters store. It's actually my affiliate link to the store down below so that you can check it out and become inspired with what you see over there. So now I'm going to bring in my friend Jaci Marie and see what she's been up to in the world. One, talk about how we met, who she was before, who she is now, because, you know, we all have our holy shifts, our transitional moments in time that take us from where we thought we were going to where spirit or soul's purpose really wants us to be. So we're going to be talking about her story and then see what she's up to in the world now. So let's bring her in. Hi, Jaci. So good to see you.
Oh my goodness, Victoria, it's amazing to see you. I am so grateful and so honored for you to have invited me onto your show. This is amazing.
Yeah, so when you and I met, I had thought about doing a show, but I wasn't quite ready yet. And I actually I disappeared for a couple of years from the public scene. I don't know if you know this, but I got braces. And
no,
yeah, I had braces for a couple of years, and I didn't do any public speaking. I didn't do any interviews. I didn't do any coaching because it turned my mouth into hamburger. So
oh no.
yeah. So I've had a couple of surgeries and mouth surgeries and implants and bone grafting, all kinds of mouth stuff done. So I disappeared from the public eye for a couple of years. But you met me before all of that.
Yeah. I want to say it was a mommy group that we met originally.
Yeah, in a coffee shop.
Yes. That was our original meeting, and we've just stayed connected throughout the years, and it's been amazing.
But what's really funny about it is that we haven't really seen each other, even though we don't live very far apart. We haven't really seen each other physically.
Right. You were doing oh gosh, you were doing speaking. I can't think of it right now. What were you doing?
I was doing Toastmasters.
Oh my God, brain fart. Yes, you were doing Toastmasters, and I had went to a couple of your meetings. Yes, that was another way that we kind of reconnected again throughout the years, but absolutely. But I love that we've been able to stay connected.
That was pretty much the only speaking I did was through Toastmasters. And I actually took on a bunch of leadership roles rather than speaking roles because, well, that's what Toastmasters does. It creates leaders. So I ended up taking on leadership roles. So when you and I met, your son was still quite small.
Yes, he was still little. I'm not sure what age he was. And I believe that I was still working as a nurse full time, I believe at that time as well. Or I was making my transition out.
I think so when you and I met, your life was in what I call a holy shift. Your life was in a transition phase. So but before we get into that, I want to know a little bit more about you. Some things about you I didn't know. Now, I know the story, your transition story, and we will talk about that because I think it's really, really important for people to understand how our pain stories can actually become the most powerful experiences in our life. Okay. And they hurt like HE double toothpicks when we're going through them. Right. But they take us in a completely different direction that our soul really wants us to go. Absolutely. So tell me about you. Where were you born? What was your childhood like? What inspired you to go into the field of nursing, which is who I knew you as when I met you was as an RN?
Yes. So, wow. Okay, we're going to take it back a little bit. Originally from the Bay Area, San Mateo, California. Born and raised, made my transition here to Los Angeles around 2021, was going into nursing. I had went to community college. That was the first 2 years of community college for me was just to explore. My parents, they were not like, you've got to go to college, you've got to do this. It was an environment of freedom, really. So I tried everything that I was interested in, from fashion to art to history to sciences, but the sciences were the ones that were calling me. Um, my mom's friend, she was a nurse, so we just had a conversation about going into nursing. So that was it. So I made my transition over to Los Angeles, continued on my studies, and then ultimately became a registered nurse in 2006. So I have been a registered nurse for a while now. And I was absolutely in love with healthcare, in love with nursing. I was the nurse who wanted to go to all the conferences, who wanted to, if I could, wear a badge, a sweater, a shirt that said registered nurse every day. I was that one. I wanted to be in every committee. And I was fully immersed and just loving it, loving the patients, loving the flow, loving how I was helping people, until I stopped loving it. And until there was an internal shift. I had my son also. That was an awakening in itself, being, having a child, priorities shifting, things just shifting in life, and really focusing more on my own personal health. Then I got into fitness. So from there, after having my son, I wanted to be healthier. I just wanted to be healthier, seeing the patients in the hospital coming in and having procedures and surgeries done that ultimately weren't necessary if they had, proper nutrition and move their body, things that are available to us preventatively, right? So I got on my health journey, and it took me to bodybuilding competitions. And during that was a transition. During that transition of my physical physique transforming, I realized my body wasn't going to do anything my mind wasn't telling it to do. So then I began to shift into, okay, well, if I could create this physique and I can get healthy and I can do all these amazing things, what else can I put my thoughts to that will then create a result?
I remember seeing some of your before and after pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I have to tell you, I have a little bit of body envy. Because what you were able to get your body to do is extraordinary. And it's and I have to tell you, what inspired me to connect with you a couple of weeks ago and say, oh my gosh, Jaci, I want to talk to you. I was out on the beach walking, because I do my beach walk whenever it's warm enough, nice enough for me to go beach walk. And there was a woman out on the beach that reminded me of you. Oh. Great, really, really great shape, really dark, beautiful skin. I was like, oh my gosh, she reminds me of Jaci. I got to reach out. and so I just remember being so inspired by your ability to just choose to do something and actually do it. So how many people talk about what they want to do, but never actually do the thing they talk about? That's one of the things that has always inspired me about you. So I've been kind of secretly stalking you. I've been following you on Facebook because I so admire what you've done since the time that I met you. So I think when I met you, your son was quite young. You were in the middle of navigating the relationship with his dad and being a single mom, and you were a nurse. And something had happened within a couple of months before that completely changed your life. So when I met you, you had just discovered essential oils. So you're actually, it's so funny, I pulled my essential oils out this morning.
Mine are going now too.
You're the one that really educated me about essential oils. And so I remember that you were in this like complete upheaval of your life. Because something had happened to you in the garage at work where you were a nurse that turned your life upside down. Are you open to talking about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have not really shared this story, maybe more than a handful of people, but this is truly the transition that catapulted me into a completely different dimension, literally, and a track of life. So it's so interesting because my energy and my vibration going to work toward the end of me not being there, not wanting to be there, really shifting my own energy within the workplace, realizing how toxic my environment in the hospital was, really making the shift of listening to positivity, removing myself from the lunchroom of gossip and people just talking about each other and complaining and CNN's on the news. It was just overwhelm, right, of negativity. So I began to shift my mind, my energy, really pouring into myself with podcasts, audiobooks, moving my body every day. I was working out. So I was in this space of, I was not fully in alignment because I was still in this place that it was time for me to leave. However, energetically, I was vibrating of it's time, it's time to go. So every morning it was a mantra or an affirmation of, I just want to work from home. I want to be home with my son. I want to have the freedom to do what I want to do when I want to do it. The vibration of what I was radiating was so, so strong. However, I didn't have the courage at that time to leave, to say, okay, it's a societal box of, you go to school, you do these things, you get the career, you've got your pension, you've got your 401, you've got all of this security. It's an illusion. So the last day of my job, I drove in regular. I worked the 6 a.m. shift. So I was there like 5 something in the morning, pulled into the garage, pulled into where I park every day. And no one's in the garage. It's super early. And I get out of my car and I go to walk around to gather all of my belongings. And all of a sudden I feel hands all on the back of my body, like hands on my hair, down on my back. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I turn around, it's 5 a.m. So I'm still kind of like discombobulated a little bit. And there's this homeless transient standing behind me. He had no shoes on and he's just staring at me. And now I'm up. I'm like, can I say a bad word? I'm like, what the F? So I'm like, what the F? Now I'm like, what's going on? And he says no words. He's just staring at me. Now he slowly starts to walk toward me, but I'm lodged between my passenger seat and the door. So fight or flight kicks in and I shove him and I scream and I yell and I run out and he stumbles backwards and he's now chasing me around the parking garage of my job. He stops chasing me. He jumps into my car. My coworkers magically pop off the elevator and they say, I'm screaming to them like, there's this man in the garage. He's chasing me. He's in my car. I don't know what the hell's going on. One goes to push the emergency button, call button in the garage. Doesn't work. The other one goes off to actually find help. He's still in my car. Security comes. LAPD comes. The man jumps out of the car, runs toward me, like football, like a linebacker coming toward me. LAPD tackles him down and off he goes. But here is the piece that I realized, that this man was not there to actually assault me, hurt me, do harm to me. Because honestly, the way that he crept up on me with no shoes on, I heard nothing, not a scuffle, not a pebble, not a nothing. He easily could have taken me out, threw me in my car, and we could have been off or whatever. That wasn't it. When he was being tackled down, he did not disconnect eye contact from me, and he hadn't said a word the whole time. He never said one word the whole time, running through the garage, being tackled down, not one word. And when I was watching him and looked direct eye contact to his direct eye contact, it was like it was a vessel. He was not home. It was just, as I had reflected on it, this was years ago, he was sent to get me out of my job. Source, God, energy, spirits, they knew that I needed that push. literally hands on me push, because I don't think I would have had the courage to do it truly on my own. And this was a way, and I have not been back to that hospital or full-time, hospital work since then. And that was 2017, maybe 2016, 2017. I want to say 17 sounds about right. And that was when I left there, driving away after all of that chaos, it was just like a weight was lifted. It was like a big exhale. Like, it's over. It's done. I'm never going back there. And I'm never going back into another hospital. Like, my time as a registered nurse in the hospital is complete. And that was it. And it was not, it was spiritually guided for sure. And I may add, if I had not done the internal work, the spiritual work, the mindset work, I really would have got caught up in, oh my God, the man attacked me, and I think he was on drugs, and just fed into the basic of it. And it was so much more than that. It was so much more than that. And now here I am.
Yeah. So, hey, I've got a quick question for you. My feed is not picking. Oh, there you are. The entire story, you were fuzzy. Your voice was fine, but your face wasn't there. Which was really interesting. So can you see me okay?
I've been able to see you the whole time.
Okay. So your story was fine. It's just for some reason your visual camera isn't working very well.
That's so interesting. I'm here.
So I know you're there, and your story was great. So what's interesting about that is that you could have very easily gone into victimization.
Yes.
If you hadn't done the work beforehand, you could have gone into victimization, which is what a lot of us do when we get hit with these, as I call them, the spiritual 2x4 to the back of the head. You could have gone into blame and victimization and hating your life even more, and any number of places you could have gone with that. But because you had already done a lot of the internal work, you were able to recognize it for the gift that it was.
Absolutely. It was truly a gift. Wow. Yeah. It was a gift. It was an exit, and it was a launching pad into my next identity, the next chapter, the next phase of why I'm here and what I'm to be doing, for sure.
Yeah. And I think I remember that there were still some, like legalities that you needed to go through with all of that, with leaving your job.
Yeah, they were really simple. It wasn't really anything it wasn't a big trial or any big to do. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just remember you saying one time a couple of months later, yay, it's done. I'm out of there, and now I can go do what I want to do. So you started, initially, I remember you teaching fitness. Do you still teach fitness?
No, that was the piece of the mindset shift. I was attracting women who wanted the short term. Like, I have a vacation, I have a wedding, I have a party, I have a birthday, I have a this, I have a that. And then then what? Because this is truly a lifestyle that I'm teaching and that I'm sharing. Yes, you'll get the results. However, then what? Because my goal is really to help you to set up a complete different lifestyle. So that was a challenging piece. So when I realized that the mindset piece would take care of everything else, I made a shift with the coaching that I do. And it's really about being in alignment, being able to manifest, being able to be in a mindset where you can attract all the things that you want. If it's the better health, if it's the better body, but it's going to start with your mind. And that was the missing piece when I was teaching fitness and nutrition. Yeah.
So you were, when you and I met, you were teaching fitness, and you were promoting essential oils, and you were an RN.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And so it sounds like and then you got involved with cryptocurrency and investing.
I did that too. I have my hands in all kinds of things.
All kinds of stuff. What's really amazing about that is for so many of us, what's happened between 2012 and now is taking all of these different pieces of the puzzle of what we've done over the years and figuring out how they all fit together, to how they all work together. So
Right.
so you're doing the mindset and the physical care and the financial care and seeing how they all fit together
Mhm.
into one model. They're actually not separate.
Exactly. It's mind, body, spirit. And you get to bring all those three into alignment to be your best self, whatever that is for you. Absolutely.
Well, and you understand
Absolutely.
the financial part of it well, which is health and wealth are really, they're the same in the sense that we have a wealth of prosperity and a wealth of health and a wealth of relationships, so they're not separate.
No, no, it's, the theme of really not only alignment, but it's creating abundance in all areas of your life. So if it's money, if it's health, if it's happiness, if it's love, if it's opportunities, if it's success, we get to do all of those things because it's truly our birthright, right? For sure.
Absolutely. And I think people are starting to understand that every one of us was created to prosper, and
Yes.
prosperity isn't just about money. It's about thriving and prospering in life in all things.
Yes, 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 yes. So it's interesting because when I was in nursing, I played by the societal rules. I did as the tract is laid out for us. So going to school, getting I have 4 college degrees, getting the 6-figure job, driving the luxury car, buying the home, I have the baby. I did all the things, and I'm working in this, in healthcare. I'm helping people. And then it began like maybe 7 years in, I was like, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Am I really going to be doing this until I'm 70 something years old? I was like, hell no. Like,
Yeah.
I did everything I was told. I don't know what the magic was that was going to come at the end, but there was not going to be an end until it was retirement time. And I was not going to do that. Was not.
Yes. And especially looking around at the women around you. And because I worked in the medical field for about 20 years, and I started to realize that nurses are some of the most unhealthy people.
Doctors as well.
Yeah, and they're exhausted because they're always helping everyone else. And then
Yes.
and doing that for the rest of your life. When I know, when women get into nursing, it's because, not just women, obviously some men too,
Right,
because
right.
they love humanity and they really want to make a difference in the world, and
Yes.
don't really understand how systemized the medical system is,
Yeah.
and that you're not really free to teach people how to be really healthy, genuinely healthy. And I can
Absolutely.
see how you would start to fall out of love with that, because what you dreamt of and what you went to school for wasn't the reality.
Correct. Correct. And being stuck in this space of, okay, well, the illusion of security, and believing that this was the only way that I was able to help people, when really it's a vast many ways, right, that I can help people. And now it's coaching, and now it's speaking, and now it's guiding and consulting. I mean, there was just so many ways, but I was really locked into that mindset of, okay, I have to do this because this is what I got the degree in. Or if I do make a shift, I must go back to college to get another degree to do something. No, none of that is true unless you believe it to be true.
Right. Yes, because belief creates reality.
And we all on this planet have free will and free choice.
Yeah.
And I chose to create a new belief and step into something new.
Yeah, and you followed the rules.
I
Right?
did.
You had this, it sounds like a very supportive family that you grew up with, and you
Yeah.
did all the right things, and you went to college. Now, I didn't know you had 4 degrees. That's a lot of education. And
Yeah, I was locked in to the system. I really
wow.
believed in it for sure. Yeah, I did.
And that's what a lot of people do. They think they have to go back to school to then get a master's degree,
Yes.
and whatever the next thing is, and not realizing that they're actually they're continuing on that same treadmill of what I call the shoulds, right? So we go through life letting everybody should on us. And at some point, you chose to jump off that treadmill and follow what your inner guidance was telling you to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been an interesting process and journey because I was so in the belief of the system. And then to have have source kick me out of the system, literally. And then to be able to see the expansion and the vast amount of opportunities that there are outside of the system. So I played by the rules until the rules were no longer fitting for me. And I created my own. We all get to do it.
That's why I call those awakening experiences, because once we have those awakening experiences, and it's like, the 2x4 in the back of the head, as they call it, or struck by lightning, whatever. Wow, that holy shift moment. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Everything I thought was the direction of my life isn't. But what it does is it wakes us up to the bigger picture. It wakes us up to how things really work in the world. And it's, this is where, one of the terms that people are talking about right now is 3D, 4D, 5D, which wasn't even a thing 10 years ago. We weren't even talking about that. But when we have these wake up experiences, it's like we pop up above what we've been told is real. Some people call it the matrix. You pop up above it and go, oh my gosh, there's a whole other world up here that nobody told me about.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. It's like we're taking off the rose-colored glasses and we can now clearly see. We can clearly see.
Yeah. And how much of it is just what we were told, what we were told we needed to be, or whatever that is. In my case, it was the religion I grew up with, but it's
the program.
Right. It's the programming. I'm talk about programming. I talk about television and programming all the time because it's all part of it, right? We're being programmed in all these things that we're supposed to be when on a soul level, on a spiritual level, who we're here to be, can be completely, in some ways, completely the opposite of what we've been programmed to believe about who we're here to be and what we're here to do.
Yes. I think the first phase of my career, my life, was a product of the program because that's what I fed into. And then the second chapter was really creating who I was going to be. Not that wasn't created, but it was created by somebody else's program. But to really be able to map out, write out, sit down, create a vision board of who this next identity I was about to step into, truly felt amazing and magical. I mean, to create a vision board and pull out my logic mind about it, because I could have said many of those things on the vision board were, okay, this is going to take 5 years, this is going to take 3 years, and really put these logical matrix type dates and times on them, and I just let it flow. But I tapped in energetically to what that was going to feel like, what it was going to be like. 12 months later, everything on that board was my actual reality. So,
and isn't that great? Because there is that, when you go for a job, they go, what's your 5-year plan?
Right. Everything is what,
your goal setting. I gave up goal setting like you years ago because I realized I was actually stunting my own growth by trying to force reality to fit into my goals.
Right.
And it's so funny you talk about vision boards. So check this out.
Bring it on.
I'm going to bring it on. So I don't usually go off camera, but this is really fun. So yesterday.
I love it. A board. Wait.
Oh, a new vision board. Oh man, I made myself fuzzy.
Oh,
hello.
No. I'm here.
I know, but now I can't see me. Now I'm all fuzzy.
Oh no. How do we bring you back? Clear.
That didn't work.
No.
I got too close to the camera and it didn't
Oh
like it.
no, we got excited about the vision board. Oh.
Well, see, this is what I need a producer. I need a producer to help me out here, but I don't have one yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, hang on.
okay.
Sometimes you can just go like that and it resets the camera.
Has this happened before?
No. Oh, good grief.
No way.
No, what have I done?
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know what? We're going to do another interview that when my camera and your camera work better. And we have so many great, a bunch of comments over here.
Oh, okay. Let's go through
you know what? So who is here with us? I'm going to remove myself from the stream really quick and see if that works.
Okay.
Yay!
There you are.
Like I said, if I had a producer, this would all. So Lori Shayu is here. Do you remember Lori?
Yes.
Yeah. Lori's watching live. She's got all kinds of great comments over here. Hello, Wonder Women. Jaci. Oh, you know what? She says we met through a mastermind group. That's what it was.
Oh.
It was a mastermind group at the coffee shop, and I'm blanking on the name of the coffee
Great
shop.
Room.
Great Room. And that was a great coffee shop.
It's still open.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? And sometime when you're in my neighborhood, let's go have coffee at the Great Room Cafe.
I would love to.
That would be great. Okay, so where were you? Oh, vision board. So I was out yesterday. You're gonna love this manifestation thing. This is your stuff, right? So I pulled into the parking lot of Vaughn's. You know where the Vaughn's is? That's right there by, right? I pulled in there and I was like, you know what? I really need a new vision board. I really do. I had my vision board from last year. I decided, I don't know if I told you, I got divorced a couple of months ago. And my vision board before had a bunch of family stuff on it. I was like, no, I need a new vision board. So I actually burned that vision board because I was told to start all over again. And so I got the insight a couple of days ago that I needed a new vision board. So I walked into the Dollar Tree of all places.
Yes.
And they had a stack of foam core boards. And I walked in, I was like, I said out loud, oh my gosh, there it is. And there was a woman next to me. She said, well, you're awfully excited about that. And I said, I was just in the parking lot saying I needed a new vision board. So
that is perfect.
That's how manifestation works. Now, the vision board, obviously, the foam core boards were there, but I could have chosen to not go into the store. But I followed guidance, my guidance of just go into the Dollar Tree and see what they have in there. It's just,
there it is. Do you have all the magazines and everything you want on there?
I have an idea what I want to put on there. I want to do something completely different with this year. So one of the things I've been telling people is to have a global vision, not just your own visions, but also create a vision board of what you want the world to look like, because the planet herself is in the middle of a holy shift.
Yes, truly.
Right? That 2x4 in the back of the head that's happened to both of us that took our lives in a completely different trajectory is what's happening to the planet and the collective of humanity right now. So what do we want our new world to look like? What role do we want to play? How do we participate in collectively manifesting this and put the law of attraction to use, not in our personal lives, but in the collective planetary experience as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely.
So everything that that you're talking about, the mindset and the vision boards and all of that works individually. It also works collectively. So if
Oh,
we
for
learn how to
sure.
do it for ourselves, that's actually what feeds out into the greater consciousness.
Yes, it does. But it does start with us. It starts with us
Fine.
making the shift.
So these people go, oh, I want to change the world. Well, you kind of got to work on yourself first.
There's the disconnect. Yeah, they want to change the world, yet their life isn't really aligned. They're not in alignment, but they want to do all these other things, which is amazing. But it goes back to what can you do for yourself that then will help and support globally or the world.
Yeah, and it's not from, and I think what a lot of people need to understand that this isn't about being selfish.
Right.
So, one of the things I talk about is the difference between being selfish and self-centeredness, and they're two very different things. Where selfishness is at the expense of other people, and self-centeredness is being centered within yourself. And that when we understand you've heard this a million times before. Put your own oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if we want to change the world, we got to start first with changing our own experience.
Yes. But I don't think I've ever heard you say that, the selfish and the self-centeredness. I like that, but I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's chapter number 6 in my Transcending Fear book.
I love that. I love that. Because, you hear about selfishness and self-care or selfishness and self-love, but self-centered, I like it.
Yeah, isn't that nice? It's like, oh yeah, that's very loving. It's very self-loving. So,
yes.
And what you're talking about is self-loving as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-care, self-love. I mean, it all comes back to what I teach, what I share, what I coach is you being able to come back to you. I offer you ideas to expand your mind and to challenge you to believe that anything is possible. But again, it goes back to what are you doing for you to become that energetic match for whatever it is that you're calling in, the experiences, just to feel better, just to feel back to who you truly are. I don't believe that we've come to this planet to learn anything. I believe we've come to this planet to remember who we truly are and how powerful we are. And we get to do this process, this journey, this life as a journey. It's truly a journey from when we're born until when we transition or transform, whatever you want to call it. But we get to experience it in the best possible way of abundance, of love, of joy, of bliss, of ecstasy, of happiness. We get to choose all of that. And it's when you pull that in, when you believe it and you can feel it, your life will absolutely change. Period.
I love that. Yeah, I talk about that all the time too, about how ultimately we all have the same life purpose, ultimately. And that life purpose is to remember who we are.
Yes.
It's like, this is the ultimate challenge. The human experience is a very challenging experience. It's not for the weak-hearted soul.
No,
right?
And I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I call on to my guides and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go home now. Like, I'm all done here. This was great. My time's up. Can you come and pick me? Can you please come and pick me up?
No, not yet. Because part of it is, one, remembering who we are, and I actually use remember a little bit different than beyond just the mental concept of remembering.
Okay.
I use it in the term of remember. So as we go through life, we actually dismember aspects of ourselves until we get to the point where we start to remembering, which is bringing all of those aspects back into the whole of who we are. So it's remembering ourselves, our true selves, and going through all of the layers of beliefs that were put on us and peeling them off. And it's the ultimate challenge of re-becoming who we were always meant to be.
Re-becoming. Yes. We are here to be. Literally, we are human beings. We are here to be. Yes, there's some doing, but ultimately we are here to be in the essence of what we remember ourselves to be.
Right. Right. And so part of our purpose, if you will, one is to remember who we are and then help other people remember who they are.
Yes.
That's why your job's not finished yet.
That's true. As much as I joke, yes, I'm here. I'm ready for the challenge. I invite the challenge, but I also invite the challenge with fun and joy and freedom and just love, truly.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Love is it, right?
yes,
And
yes.
ultimately, always one of the things I teach is that ultimately our soul's purpose is to remember love. Not the romantic stuff, but that we actually are love embodied, and
Yeah.
that we get to find that inside of ourselves, and we get to find the light that we're actually born with. We get to find it inside of ourselves, and this infinite power that exists within every single one of us. We get to find that. Think about that on a soul's perspective. It's like, I'm going to go have that earth experience that I know is a rough and tumble experience, and I'm going to see if I can find my light when I'm down there in the darkness. I'm going to see if I can find my love when it's tumbling around in the fear, and remember who I am.
I'm curious, question with that. Do you believe it's something we truly need to find, or do we just be love? Do we just come back to?
But yeah, we don't necessarily have to find it. We just have to remember it. So we actually are already being it.
Yes.
It actually is who we are. There's a disconnect from it, an apparent, because no one is ever disconnected from it. There's an apparent disconnect from it because we have been living in a fear-based reality. So we come in as these beautiful balls of love and light. That's all that we are. And we learn fear, and we learn controls, and we learn shoulds, and we learn the programming. And then, so there's an apparent disconnect from the love that we already are. It's just a matter of finding it again. And it is who we are. It is our being.
Absolutely. But we've come to a plane of duality and polarity. So understanding that we have free will and choice, we get to choose it. If it's fear, we also get to choose love. And it's really, where's your focus?
Right. Well, a lot of people don't even know that that's a choice, because they're so busy experiencing the fear, the should, and shoulds are all based in fear, right? If you don't do this, this is going to be the negative response.
Right.
And
you should do this, you should do that.
Right. And the fear-based programming that comes through everything that we learn.
Yeah.
And so it's there are I think a lot of people don't even know that love is something that is who they are, and that, the reason people have so many issues with drugs and alcohol and depression and all that stuff is because they're the unconscious disconnection from love. They're not disconnected, but all of the unconscious programming has made us believe that we're disconnected from it.
Right. They're believing more in the illusion of what has been put upon them versus the choice of being able to decide to do something else, or to feel something else, or to be what we're actually here to be, like you just said. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Our work isn't done here. At least mine.
What's so great is at this particular moment in time, where then, like I said, the planet is experiencing, and everyone on the planet is experiencing, an awakening experience. And the conversation you and I are having is going to become the new normal. How amazing is that?
That brings so much happiness to me. So true.
And we would love for it to happen overnight, because we know what it feels like once we work past all of the illusion.
Yes. Yes, the conversations just get better. The energy exchange gets better. The people that you align to get better because you are doing that internal. I'm going to say work, but I do want to choose a different word for that. But that internal growth, the internal evolution of your soul. So then you begin to align to those who are also on the journey and on the path. And yeah, life gets better, friends get better, everything gets better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you know the power that you have and the control that you have within yourself. Control truly is an illusion outside, but what you can control is you, and you understanding that, or people understanding that, that's when it gets better, because ultimately you get to choose it. You get to decide, and you don't have to live in the shoulds. You don't have to live in the have tos. The have tos become get tos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So life happens, shift happens. And
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
words you want to put on it, how we respond to those circumstances is, as you said, that is where our control lies, is in our own responses to our circumstances.
Yes.
And so what a lot of people don't understand is that's actually what the word responsibility means. It's about taking responsibility for your own life. The word responsibility means ability to respond. So as soon as we realize what responsibility means, we can take our power back.
Mm-hmm.
So making other people responsible for our circumstances and blaming other people and being a victim to our circumstances, that gives other people power over our lives. So we choose responsibility, we're taking back our own power.
Yes. Responsibility, accountability, being able to respond versus react. When you can get into that role, that in itself is truly life-changing. Versus, emotion just flying because you're in reactive mode, versus, I love to say, observe, reflect, and then respond. That
Right.
just brings the power and the peace back to you. And you either choose to respond to that, or you can just, like, you don't even have to give it any energy or power, whatever that may be that's triggering or causing you to feel like you may want to react. But if you just take the moment to pause, breathe, and reflect, and then respond, it's a whole different situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, because reacting can destroy everything. It's like, ruin relationships and burn bridges just by reacting. And because we've been living in a fear-based reality, the initial reaction is always fear-based. It's like going on self-defense.
Yes.
Fight, flight, that's fear-based. And
yeah, unless it's a true like fight or flight response, like you're being attacked, like truly danger, then the reaction of what was happening probably most likely wasn't warranted when you could have responded or reflected on it.
Right. But a lot of people immediately go into that, as opposed to just sitting with it and saying, oh, okay, I see this. Is triggering me. Okay. What can I extract from this experience? How can I approach this experience from the most loving perspective? And we're not necessarily here to learn, but every experience can be an opportunity for learning.
Yes.
To sit with it and go, ooh, I see this is happening here. What can I learn from this? Oh, I see I'm being triggered this way. Why is this being, why am I being triggered up by this? What in me is asking for my attention? So you were talking about doing the inner work, right? And finding a different word for it. So one of the things I found is, in the beginning, it feels like work.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's not fun. But what I've discovered is that as soon as we start using these kinds of processes, like processes I teach and processes that you teach, it actually becomes fun. The inner work actually becomes inner play of, oh my gosh, oh, that feels really good. I'm so glad I don't believe that anymore.
Inner play?
And
you said inner play?
It becomes inner play.
Okay. I like that. I'm going to have to switch over.
I try to have life be as little work as possible.
I'm with you on that. I would, yeah, I want to be in my human being versus doing all the time.
Yeah. Well, and the doing actually is necessary, but not to the degree we've always been told.
Correct.
So one of the things
Wow,
that you
correct.
teach is the law of attraction, and I show people all the time that part of the word attraction actually is the word act.
Right.
And so there's some acting that needs to go with it, but it doesn't have to be hard work.
Correct.
So here's a perfect example of the acting part. I'm going to go back to my vision board. The only action that I needed to do was going into the store and buying the vision board.
Absolutely.
Now, could it have magically shown up on my doorstep? Maybe. But this was easy. All I had to do was listen to the prompting that said, go into the Dollar Tree.
And there it is.
But I didn't have
that
to
was
work
the doing.
for it. I didn't have to get in my car and hunt it down or go on the internet and go to wherever and buy it and wait for it to show up a couple of days later from Amazon and spend $10 for it, or just walk to the Dollar Tree, pick it up for a buck and throw it in the back of my car. So
and there it is. Yes.
Have to be big action. But there is a little bit that's involved. And as another friend of mine says, spirit meets us at the point of action. So we can set all the intentions in the world, but if we don't move at least a little bit in that direction,
yeah, absolutely agree.
It's like we're telling the universe we're not really that serious about it.
But I think too, if you're doing so much, you don't have the time to even hear the whisper from source, spirit guides, to have, that little whisper of going to the Dollar Tree. But if people are so busy just doing, there's no time to receive the answer for the next step. That doesn't take hard work. That just takes one step.
Right.
That is what's so powerful.
Inspired action.
Inspired action. That's what, yes. I am for the inspired action. And it's those whispers that I love to get, or the nudges of go this way or go that way. And then boom, what you want is it's just take the one step, whatever that may be that you're hearing. Yes. And that is the inspired action. Absolutely. Versus struggle, hustle, grind, work your face off mentality. I've been there, done that.
So I got to share this with you. So one of the, because we're talking about being busy. So a lot of us are taught from children, you got to be busy. Time is money. Money is right. Well, one, time is a resource. It's actually not money. We've just been fed this belief that we have to exchange time and money. But I'm being reminded of when I was a child being told that an idle mind is the tool of the devil. So we were told to always, always, always be busy because temptation might get in.
Oh.
But what's interesting is that inspiration doesn't get in either.
That's it. That's why it was taught not to do it, because it's like they're programming us to not be creative, curious, inspired, ask questions. And that's what you'll get with the quiet, just being. Have you lost me?
Yeah, hang on. No, you're there, but I don't know where you went.
I can see it, but I can.
No, this window popped up.
Oh no, okay. It didn't on my side.
Yeah, I could hear you, but my screen went blank because you never get some of this little pop up that says your computer's about to restart. That popped up on my screen. I'm like, no, you can't restart right now.
You're like, not now.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny little glitches we've had. I know, which is interesting because I don't get glitches on my show, so it's hysterical that they're happening with you. Thank you for being such a dear friend.
It's our energy. The power just affects the frequency of all things, literally.
Yeah. So I know you actually have a client that you have to run to in a few minutes. So why don't you tell people how to find you?
Okay. Yes. So you can find me on, actually, where it would be best to utilize my email, hello@thejacmarie.com. If you have any direct questions or just want to reach out and contact me, you can go to my website. However, I am in a rebrand mode. So just going directly to my email would be the best if you do want to reach out directly to me.
You're in a rebrand, but your website's beautiful.
Thank you. Just just in regards of my offers, how I'm just shifting a few things.
Got it. Oh, yeah, we need to do that every once in a while. I did that about a year ago completely.
Yeah, it's time.
My website up.
Things have shifted. Programs that I'm offering, the way in which that I want to coach is just shifting a little bit. So little tweaks like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yes.
And I'll put that in the comments below too, so that people know how to find you and how to reach out to you.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Any last minute things you want to say before we say goodbye?
Well, to you, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for having me. Your energy is amazing. I'm so grateful for this invitation. I'm just grateful to be able to talk and share a little bit about who I am and just to have this exchange with you. So yeah, that's it for me. Just grateful.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so grateful to have you here and so grateful that I got to meet you, all those years ago in the coffee shop. And, as I said, I've always been inspired by you and your ability to speak what you want and make it happen.
That's why we're connected. You do the same. So I love it.
Thank you. Oh, I'm not as good at it as you are. I'm getting better though. I had a lot of baggage to unload.
It's the journey. We're on the journey and it's progress. So this is good.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
And we will have coffee. Next time you're in Redondo Beach, look me up and we'll have coffee at the Great Room Cafe and a nice lunch. Their food is yummy too.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank all of you today for watching and for participating. Please check out Jaci Marie's website or send her an email and get to know her and the wonderful work that she is doing in the world and, get more of her vibe. And as always, remember to hold your light so high others can't help but see their own light. Together we are creating a new world of peace, prosperity, and I'm adding this one, the golden age of humanity. And as always, remember to get bold, be fearless, and live free.